Hello, welcome back once again. My name is David James, and this is the First Lady here, Kesha James, and we're
Hi.
joining the conversation. We've got Michael Langford over here, Tyler Jones, and well, our other tag team partner. He said his thing, and he had to get going.
He
So-
really said his thing.
Yes. So we're going to take a few more moments and chop it up about this situation, and it's kind of unique because Michael, the last time we were actually on set together, we were doing a chopping it up, and we were talking about city politics. Actually, we did grades, and I was defending Deshaun, saying that he's listening to the wrong voices, and he really was, wasn't he? Somebody in Delaware, I guess, but here we are now. It's a lot of things have changed. We've got a new person on council that, as well, I've been listening, and nobody knows much about her, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all about giving somebody a fair chance, but I do know that Jermichael has been out there, and he's been boots on ground for a while. My wife, she's actually has watched this council meeting a couple of times, actually maybe
Couple of
three
times.
times, and
Quite a few times, and still shaking my head because as a woman, I do think there are too many women on that council, and I think maybe there's too many collaborations. I'm just going by what I see. I think Jermichael was a perfect fit, because he is out there. He's doing stuff for the community. Never heard of this young lady. And from what I hear from behind the scenes, they already had their decision made, like, before even whatever, because the young lady left and came back, and just saying people were there and they noticed things. But I just think it was totally wrong because I love April Jackson. We've had her on the show quite a few times. I've done Girl Chat, and I kind of stand by what she said. There's too many women on the panel. They need to have some other representation, whether it be a color or male. Because right now, I really don't think it's fair. And I think women, as a woman, I think they may have overstepped in this one.
And unique thing is, you said that you're actually, we live in District 2, but even before we got married, you lived in District 2 for the last 10, 15 years. So that's actually your district.
It's actually my district.
So, yeah.
So if we were allowed to vote, I definitely would have voted for him. But that's when you put people that think they can work behind the scenes and speak for our city. I think they're absolutely false because that was no representation set there, and Jermichael was definitely the right fit for the job.
And it's unique that you said, thank you. You actually said that on the interview we had here when we had both Jermichael.
100%.
The unique thing was actually on Bridging the Gap, we actually have a Facebook page that we actually have for Bridging the Gap, which whether you're a follower or a non-follower, I can see when people come on the page. And uniquely, Councilwoman Gregory, who has never been on Bridging the Gap, right before they made the decision, watched that video. Watch that interview. So my question, and not only that, like you said, I've also spoken to some people who were actually at the council meeting that was there when Mrs. Holland left. After she spoke, she had left. And then mysteriously she showed back up. And this young lady actually asked her, said, "Oh, you're back." She's like, "Yeah, I just want to stick around and see who gets picked."
Yeah, that doesn't sound fishy at all, does it?
Well, I tried to reach out to Jermichael that night, and he didn't know until like after this young lady knew.
Until it said. Yep. So they announced it.
So why did she show back up? That was the question.
Because she already knew.
Well, that I don't know about. And even though I am a supporter of Jermichael, I say it publicly and privately. What happened to Natalie is...
Yeah, talk to us about what happened with Natalie.
Well, hopefully Natalie will be on another segment to actually give the story in her own words.
Yeah.
But she was disqualified. And they
Why?
essentially told her that they couldn't prove her address. This is after submitting 2 leases, submitting payment history for the years that she's been at that residence. She was told that wasn't enough. From my understanding, there's been nothing in writing to actually show her the reasons why. She's trying to figure out from the Board of Elections, I believe.
Interesting.
As to why she was disqualified. Do you know something different?
So my understanding is it makes the Board of Elections is called when they convene for either running of an election, which is not happening here, or a complaint being filed. So in this case, the Board of Elections has nothing to do with the process.
Okay.
They were consulted.
So you
they
say the
didn't
clerk's
review.
office.
Clerk's office, but the clerk is a clerk. Like, they're not admin. They're not making decisions. They're doing what they're told. So the people who are determining this, again, it's back on the people in the hot seat are the council members.
Wow.
And so those are the people,
Wow.
those are the people that are really like determining this process. So I don't, it's possible that the clerk felt that I don't know Natalie's situation and I don't
Correct.
know the documentation. So I definitely would not want to speculate on who's particularly responsible for it. But I know that it is not going to come down just to the city clerk, that legal counsel, the city attorney, would be consulted. But that, again, that city attorney isn't an elected official, isn't part of the Board of Elections, isn't necessarily, they're just contracted, they're not supposed to be making decisions.
Right,
So
right.
this aspect this is the part where it gets murky for me of like, so who's responsible? And I feel like they're going to kind of all try to pass the buck in that way, if that makes sense.
Because you have a bunch of stuff going at the city council meeting tonight. You have
You sure
all of
do.
the things on the agenda.
Right.
I'm sure Natalie will be there to advocate for herself. Jermichael will be there to advocate for
Absolutely.
himself. You have the situation with Pep that everybody's going to talk about.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
Now has the NAACP backing.
Yeah.
And I think I'm missing something. No disrespect to anybody, but I think there's one more major thing.
There's a lot of appointments to the zoo and all these other different things. I do know that. But I want to get back to on this Natalie situation. When was she told of this? Because as of that weekend, I mean, did she know about it until right before it? Did this happen on Monday? She was told this?
I will say I became aware of it on Monday by following Natalie's Facebook page. And she says, hey, good luck to everybody. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there tonight.
I definitely want
And
to talk to her.
You see the community coming, and they're like, well, why aren't you going to be there? Because your name was listed as one of the
Yeah.
applicants. Why wouldn't you be there? And then later on, I didn't watch everything in the correct timeline, but I see that she's saying that, I was disqualified. And it's because they couldn't prove my, I don't want to say residency. You're familiar.
The domicile
Yes.
requirement.
Yes.
My
Couldn't prove it.
understanding is that there are now 2 out of 3 documents that are required to establish the residency or domiciling within a requirement to be met. And so I don't actually know what those are currently, but you can look them up on the election packet. They list it. It's standard stuff.
That's pretty interesting. They did that much research on her and did none on Mr. Doughty.
That
Yeah.
my understanding is that the because of a lot of this,
that.
the process is being
Changing,
improved.
moving around.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, more scrutiny, more accountability.
So my question is, does she really live where she's supposed to?
I think you'll have an opportunity to ask her that
I've
question
never seen
later
the
on.
lady, and we live in that district.
Yeah.
I mean, even if she does, maybe she stays inside. There are people that stay inside, but if you stay inside, how are you going to know the interests of the
People are-
community?
Yeah.
Natalie's actually already working
Oh,
within
yeah,
the
yeah,
city.
no,
on
not
a few-
Natalie. I mean, the young lady that was picked, Melissa Holland.
I apologize.
Yeah, when she was she's picked, we lived in that district. We lived there, okay?
Never
We don't
heard of her.
I mean, right, we not only that, we volunteer at the Christian shelter that, guess what, is also in that same district. So, and nobody's heard anything about this young lady. And again, I'm like you. I mean, I want to give this lady a fair chance as a minister. We believe in giving people their opportunity.
Yes.
But as far as we're talking about representing that community,
Yeah.
who's going to understand? Because, I mean, I'm under an understanding, and I've worked both with county and with the city elected officials, It's important that you understand what's going on. Like I heard you talking about James Wynn. Y'all brought up James Wynn earlier, or Colin did. He's a waterman. So he understands the struggle of a waterman. Jermichael, he's out there with the youth. He understands this inner youth problems and situations they have to deal with. He's around people. As a matter of fact, a lot of those youth are now the adults living in the houses. He understands that. My question is, and I hear what you said, that she's done all this stuff. Not you. I'm talking about the actual person that picked her, Miss Gregory, the councilwoman lady Gregory. We picked her based upon what she's done for the community. The community, never seen her.
Of her. Never.
And that brings me to something else I want to, my question is, if they're really concerned with, and I'm talking about the council people, and I know that Council Lady Jackson is, if they're really concerned with the community, why didn't they say, hey, maybe we need to do something here and let there be a special election?
Oh, money. Simply
Yeah.
put. I don't know how much a special election would cost. Hopefully somebody can jump in the comments and actually clarify if you do know. But that's why. And then the charter, technically they didn't do anything
that charter.
legally wrong.
Right, it's the
Morally, absolutely. And I think that the push now is to go ahead and get that changed so that the citizens do have more of a voice. And that's what we should be advocating for. Like, hey, this charter is outdated. Let's do something that actually
That's
works
right.
for our citizens.
Exactly. That's the thing. When you step in there, you should be about change. Not doing things according to things that make you look good, but the change for the community.
Thank you. And that brings me to another question. The head of the council. Now, aren't they supposed to? They're supposed to be the leader, and because the council, at least where I know for the county, is supposed to be there to legislate and come up with laws, come up with the changes and stuff. So the president's got to be the one to say, "Hey, this charter thing looks a little fishy. Let's fix it." So if you got a president that's not going to address it, like Colin said, if you got one that's going to allow everybody else to tell them what to do instead of being the leader. So that brings me down to the day when they pick the next president. April Jackson is the longest tenured person on that council.
Tenure.
Not only that, and she know what I love about Council Lady Jackson. She does not hide behind the last name Jackson. I ain't talking about Michael. I'm talking about the fact that her dad being Billie Jean Jackson.
You're right.
She's actually making her own legacy. She's actually got young men like you, there are young women out there also. They're looking at her and said, "Hey, this is what I want to be like." So why shouldn't she be already? This should be a shoe-in for her.
Once again,
And it
tradition
goes
not
by
being
tenure,
followed.
so there should be no questions asked.
So
we'll find that out tonight, right?
exactly. Your point about like tradition would dictate to that she, as the longest tenured member of the council, would be. So if we see that not happen, we have to ask why.
Exactly.
Especially when it would be hypocritical to then tell us, well, we have to do this because the charter says so, which is also a type of tradition, right? And then now something that isn't written, but everybody follows. Like Jack Heath before was the longest tenured. He got to be council president,
like
right?
that
Because
thought.
he was.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So it's not really about like us approving of an individual person in this case of just what the time the person put in, they did the role. And if you watch Councilwoman Jackson, she at least can run a meeting. Angela Blake, we can't have that. We can't have that. As a city, we deserve better.
There's 2 points I want to bring out. During the whole little thing going on with the crosswalk, I remember seeing Council Lady Gregory go on one of these local channels and said, the reason why I'm stepping back from, by the way, for those that didn't know why she was stepping back from county executive, she said she wants to make sure this city council is strong. So does that mean that she stepped back from that to be able to move the chess pieces to make things happen the way she wants them to happen?
I guess we'll find out tonight, won't we?
Now, the question is, does she want council president? Because we do know that she totally does not get along with the mayor. Council Lady Jackson have to defend people saying that she's a Randy lover. Hey, number one, she's a Christian, so she's supposed to love everyone.
Love everybody.
And, I love about Council Lady Jackson, once again, the fact that she goes to what's right for the community.
Yes.
I'm getting a little excited in here. I'm sorry.
And not for personal agenda. It's not about that. It's about who's going to do what's right. That's it. And I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
What would you guys suggest to restore public faith, though? Like, we talked about the charter amendment. We talked about possibly April Jackson being the next president. What would you do to restore public faith, especially if you're Michelle Gregory at this stage? Do you consider continue running that county exec, or do you step back like she did?
Well,
Because we can look at it like a lot of different ways, but if we just stick to building the public faith, what would you have done?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, because number one, if I was running for a county executive, I would actually file before I started raising money.
I agree with that.
Because you lose the community's respect or them even trusting you when they can't follow the money. You follow the money first and foremost, and when
it doesn't make you look good. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And do we know where the money is now at this point?
We don't. Now here's another thing also is, if she wants to try to get the community to trust her again, do a town hall. Let us come on the show. Hey, here's the great thing. I normally don't mention any other shows on PAC 14. Any of these shows that are working in the political realm, please come on them, Council Lady Gregory.
Yeah.
Because
Speak for yourself.
Here's the thing that we want to know. We want to know your views, and if not, maybe the ones that are in your district because they're coming up with an election next year, right? Or 2 years from now.
2 years.
Yeah, 2027.
The county elections are 2026, and the midterm state elections 2026. The city elections are 2027.
So wait a minute. So no offense to Miss Holland. So we're I hate to say stuck with. We're stuck with an appointed person for the next 2 years. This is plenty of time to do a special election.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. I feel like if you had 3 to 6 months of getting business done and you got to appoint this person to get, I don't really love that personally, but I get that you don't want to run a whole election 3 months before you run a whole election. So I get that. But 2 years
Right.
for one district,
Right.
y'all could run an election for a district.
Right.
And the second part I wanted to bring up is this charter. Salisbury's charter kind of alienates Salisbury from the county first and foremost. It really does. If you look at the charter, there's nothing, the county does nothing with the city because of the charter. This whole vacancy, filling a vacancy is, what's the right word for it? Not right.
On so many levels.
Right,
Again,
because of
I
the
feel
charter.
Like we deserve a vote.
Bottom line.
What Madam Exec calls us, constituents. I believe we deserve a vote.
So does the charter, let's start there. Does this charter need to be, somebody needs to sit down, or people needs to sit down, maybe the council along with the mayor, and let's look at the charter, and don't forget the people.
Don't forget the people.
To your point, whoever's that council president is going to be really important because that's the person who sets the agenda. The council president,
Right there.
city or council, city or county council president is actually the chair of a meeting, committee, board, commission. All these, they have a chairperson. The president is just honorific, but they do have the ability to put things on the agenda, and that aspect of, are you going to listen to your constituents? I know April Jackson or Sharon DeShiel will listen to people even if there's a difference of opinion. But my experience with Michelle Gregory is not.
How about Angela Blake?
I've still not spoken to the
Wait a
woman.
minute, you're in that district,
She's
right?
in my district, and she's been at a ton of public events with me. She ain't never introduced herself.
Wow.
So here's
That
something now.
explains a lot too.
Yeah, that's the problem
Wow,
with these
yeah.
public officials is like they're not forward-facing people that are willing to meet and greet people out in public. And as you said, there's nothing wrong with people being in their house or being there's some people that are forward-facing. There's some people that are cooks in the kitchen. So if that's where you lie, that's fine. But if these public elected official positions,
You need to speak to everybody.
exactly.
Can I bring up something that might be a little personal though? Because you have applied to be on
I
many
think we're on the
commissions.
same. I think we're on the same page.
You show up. A lot of times he's more informed than
Yeah, we're on the same page with this. Go ahead.
he shows up to all of the city council meetings. Like I said, you can go on his Facebook. He usually shares his comments.
Yep.
He
Does
has
a great
applied
job
to
of
be
it.
on several commissions.
Yep.
Wow.
And as somebody that's just watching, I've always wondered why you have not joined a commission or been accepted for the commission.
Or ran for council in
Is
that
that something
district.
we can talk about?
So, I mean, a lot of times I think it's the same thing that's happened in Jermichael. I think that there's a box out on people who think for themselves, in general. And I think that, like, as somebody who's, I've always, I just think that there's
He's
just,
like, yeah.
there's nothing that would disqualify me, a man who doesn't actually own a car, who walks and bikes everywhere,
Yeah,
from
really.
being on the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee.
Excellent.
There's nothing that would disqualify me, a man who is the property manager of an apartment complex within the city and operates that now for over 3 years, from being on planning commission. But my submissions to those committees or commissions have always just been
You
denied.
intimidate them.
Has it
Wow.
ever been transparent though? Did they actually tell you the reason why?
Oh yeah, that's the part. That's
good
one of the
one. That's a
biggest,
good question.
and that's a thing too that I fear for Natalie. That is very hard about her situation, is that they did not provide me a reason. That there was not.
Wow.
That's the part, is that. The only thing that I have to go on, I was not there the night for the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee thing, But, it's just this salacious insinuation of rumor with, like, Michelle Gregory saying something like, well, I've heard concerns from members of the community. Which ones, specifically? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what are those concerns? And are they
Are they just friends of her?
And it's like, that's not how you do these things. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody wants that done to them.
Wow.
And that's the thing that I see that's wrong about Jermichael. So that's why I always speak up for people too, is that I have my own experiences. It's not about me in this instance, but I can relate to what's happening to Jermichael and Natalie, and why I always invite more people to the table.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you might be more informed than I am. Is the same ethics committee that's for the county, is that the same for the city? Because if so, maybe we need to get one of those members on, and I've actually got a good friend that's on that, Dr. Zant. Maybe we need to have somebody from the ethics committee and ask them about some of these things. So is it the same one for both city and county?
I'm not sure. I don't know if there's like sometimes there's overlap, I'm not sure about the scope of the ethics.
I mean, because seriously, it sounds like this is just something that keeps happening, and it's just bias. I mean, they're turning you down for something, and they're not telling you why. They're disqualifying her at the last second, and it's don't ask me no questions why. You just can't, because of something's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely something to hide if you can't say why you're not approving of someone.
And
definitely something to hide.
Exactly. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, 'cause I think I heard y'all say this on the first segment there. Mrs. Blake was appointed.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Gregory was appointed.
Was she?
Yes, she was. We went on this with Council Lady Jackson. She was appointed.
Okay.
So, Sharon DeShields and April Jackson are the only ones that were actually elected to their seats. So why are the appointed ones that are now appointing more people getting all the say?
Wow.
Maybe,
Yeah, I know.
maybe she was appointed the first time. But
Right, but no.
Well,
she became an
what we mean.
incumbent.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her original.
But that's the maneuver. Like, Deshaun was appointed within less than 6
I forgot about
months.
that.
Deshaun was appointed. I mean, all these people who lacked prior experience were appointed.
Megan was appointed.
Megan was appointed.
Wow.
Yes, and that is
Under the same charter.
Yeah.
With
And
no
the
say
risk-
so from the
And the
community.
risk of repeating myself, we need an election because this appointing thing is not working.
Well, the thing is that now that it's been done, it's done. The question is, what can we do to make sure this kind of situation doesn't happen again?
It's going to really matter who becomes that president and whether or not that person listens to community concerns. Because I think it should be I think anyone, regardless of party affiliation or anything, can see the value in what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say a word that Pastor Mitchell said on Wednesday. Overturn. That's what comes to mind. Overturn. If the people speak up,
Interesting.
especially at this meeting tonight, if we
Interesting.
speak
Petition.
up, can we actually overturn their
You mean like a petition or
appointment?
something?
See, I don't know though, because once you're there, there's strict ways that you can get a person off, and that could be like ethics. You would know more so like them not being in the right place or staying in the right place. But once they're actually there, it's a little more complicated to get them
It seems
out.
like they have
To
no
disqualify
ethics.
them.
Yeah,
It seems
so,
like they have no ethics. That's why I say that people need to be able to speak on the issue
well,
and overturn their appointment, because that's what it is, an appointment.
Well,
I'd be interested to see though.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I think what's interesting to anybody who's probably viewing this right now is the very strong stands of the people sitting at this table. And the fact of each and every one of them that are sitting at this table are constituents of this community and voters, and have the ability to, if they don't like what's going on, to become part of the difference. I mean, I'll just address the elephant in the room, if you will. You would be a great representative from your community on that council. And you and I spoke of it before, and I'm hoping you're still considering it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what district you're in, but you and I have talked many times ago. If it's not county or city, hey, you're part of the future. And that's my wife. You seeing this?
The wheels are definitely turning, because I think there is time for change, and it's time to have people in place that will actually work for the people. and not just for themselves and having personal agendas and like, oh, I love being here and having this title. I think we that are here just need to see and reach out to people and make them aware that it's time for change.
And I'm going to be definitely getting up with Colin, and because him and I work together on going out and getting petitions signed. We have no problem being out there and helping out. By the way, that young man is definitely the future. Stay tuned for that. Before we close out, is there anything anyone wants to say? Got any last words here? Because I know we're going to be doing some interviews out there tonight. I mean, I'm going to be out there. My wife's threatening getting up there and speak her mind because she didn't like what she saw. And this young lady doesn't get into the political realm like I do, but here she is watching it 3 times. Better watch out for that.
I will ultimately, judge a person by the performance of the role, their voting history, but I'm very skeptical going in, and I'll, as always, be watching and calling out whatever happens, coming on here to talk about it.
I love that.
I hate that we're in this place, but I also love that now people are paying attention and more people will be able to get involved. So that's my takeaway.
Okay.
You have a voice.
Yep. And again, like you've seen here today, you got strong young people like Colin, who is a strong conservative. You've got strong young men that's in the independent, young ladies independent, young man he may be Democrat leaning more in independent, and I'm a strong conservative, but you see us all working together to bridge the gap between information and dis and misinformation. Stay tuned to what happens next. This is Bridging the Gap. Have a great one.